55 quotes by 55 legends that will change your life. An unexamined life is not worth living. The pleasure of a man is what he does with power. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river, and he's not the same man. Silence is better than unmeaning words. Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not. Well-being is realized by small steps, but it is truly no small thing. We have 2 ears and 1 tongue so that we would listen more and talk less. The safety of the people shall be the highest law. Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Patience is the companion of wisdom. There is nothing on this earth more to be prized than true friendship. The knowledge of anything, since all things have causes, is not acquired or complete unless it is known by its causes. Give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime. Whoever is kind to creatures, God is kind to him. Therefore, be kind to man on earth, whether good or bad. And being kind to the bad is to withhold him from badness. Thus in heaven you will be treated kindly. Ignorance leads to fear. Fear leads to hate, and hate leads to violence. This is the equation. Leisure is the mother of philosophy. I think, therefore I am. Peace is not an absence of war. It is a virtue, a state of mind, a disposition for benevolence, confidence, and justice. No man's knowledge here can go beyond his experience. Music is the pleasure the human mind experiences from counting without being aware that it is counting. Beauty in things exists in the mind which contemplates them. Science is organized knowledge. Wisdom is organized life. We learn from history that we do not learn from history. Talent hits a target no one else can hit. Genius hits a target no one else can see. Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. The philosophers have only interpreted the world in various ways. The point, however, is to change it. He who has a way to live can bear almost anyhow. The greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. To exist is to change. To change is to mature. To mature is to go on creating oneself endlessly. The whole problem with the world is that fools and fanatics are always so certain of themselves, and wiser people so full of doubts. The limits of my language mean the limits of my world. Every man is born as many men and dies as a single one. Man is condemned to be free because once thrown into the world, he is responsible for everything he does. One is not born, but rather becomes a woman. In the depth of winter, I finally learned that within me their lane invincible summer. The body is our general medium for having a world. Where there is power, there is resistance. To pretend I actually do the thing, I have therefore only pretended to pretend. The smart way to keep people passive and obedient is to strictly limit the spectrum of acceptable opinion, but allow very lively debate within that spectrum. Truth is what your contemporaries let you get away with. Every process of life, whether natural or social, requires a period of undistributed unfolding until it reaches maturity. To be a good human being is to have a kind of openness to the world, an ability to trust uncertain things beyond your own control. Love without risk is an impossibility, like war without death. We feel free because we lack the very language to articulate our unfreedom. Gender is a kind of imitation for which there is no original. The secret of happiness is find something more important than you are and dedicate your life to it. All the arguments to prove man's superiority cannot shatter this hard fact. In suffering, the animals are our equals. Culture is not just one thing, it is a complex system of different things. A woman yearns for a man who bestows upon her the respect she deserves. Justice is what love looks like in public. An unexamined life is not worth living. The pleasure of a man is what he does with power. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river, and he's not the same man. Silence is better than unmeaning words.